So we told you about the situation in Alex. Government allocated funds towards building the Alexandra renewal project to try and improve the physical, social and economic environment of Alexandra in Gauteng. Now, with the province gripped by the third wave of COVID-19, what is the city actually doing for the people? Democratic Alliance Mervyn Cirota joins me this evening. Thank you for your time, Mervyn. What is going wrong? Why, when money was allocated to try and help the situation, the massive overcrowding, the significant lack of facilities for people, for various things, just to live as human beings, nothing seems to have happened, or the situation's just gotten worse?
Unfortunately, it has. Since 2001, when 1.3 billion rand was put into Alex for renewal and for upgrading to make the lives of people's living conditions better, it disappeared. And there's been many promises to find out what happened. Where was it spent? But the biggest problem, and then let's just move ahead, is that there was going to be a move to relocate people as part of a de-densification problem, particularly with COVID, which was being pushed by the national minister together in conjunction with the MEC of Human Settlements in Gauteng, and none of that has happened. As you've just said, people live in very crowded conditions. They're unable to socially distance, and nothing is happening. In fact, there's a court case, an interdict to prevent development in Alex from 2005, and notwithstanding a statement of intent, an agreement that was entered into in 2016 to allow further development to go ahead, National Treasury, which has to find about 2 billion rand in order to pay out landowners, nothing has happened. So Alex is in a time warp. People are being ignored. The people of Alex have been abandoned. It's a very, very sad state. And I've been involved in Alex for the last over 20 years, and it's just got worse. We have massive influx of illegal immigrants, and the place is the first place that job seekers go, so the living conditions get worse. Sanitation is a problem, electrification is a problem, and there doesn't seem to be a plan. The Human Settlements Department in Gauteng has promised a turnaround strategy, and one of the turnaround strategies is to do something about upgrading of informal settlements, but also renewal projects, and there are a number across Gauteng.
So Mervyn,
they go from bad to worse.
This goes to a different issue, though. So like you mentioned quite clearly when you were speaking, you've been involved in Alex for 20 years. Why does your voice mean so little in opposition when you're trying to make the case, as you are doing right now on our platform? Why is that not possible when you're in the local government parliament, or working with those people?
The provincial parliament. Okay, you asked a very good question. We name and shame. We continually bring these issues to the fore. I've taken on the Premier on many occasions in the House. I've written questions. I've taken on the MEC for Human Settlements. I've indicated that something needs to happen. New plans continually get promised. New plans continually fall behind. New plans continually never get done. And we're in a situation where you have to start asking the question, what is it that has to happen that our government shows that it cares? Because we as the DA care. We are hoping for a change. And the way that we're hoping is we're naming and shaming, and we're looking for solutions. And something has to be done, that there's got to be better political accountability, better caring, better operational accountability. There has to be better spending. There's huge underspending in the department. There's a lack of accountability with staff not doing their jobs. Programs are just forgotten. We don't even get reports on those programs. And I sit on the Human Settlements Committee in the province, and it's just a very, very poor state of affairs.
Mervyn,
the national minister...
Do me a favor. Call out the people. This is what this platform allows you to do. Call out the people who are not doing their jobs. Name them. Name and shame. You said you would. I'm asking you to do it.
Tell us, what are you doing? What are you doing about the de-densification program? What are you doing to save our residents in Alex from getting COVID? What are you doing to improve their lives? MEC Maile, what are you doing besides promising turnaround strategies? Show us where there's been any change in 20 years. Please show us, both of you, and I'm prepared to debate this with you on any forum to show you that very little has happened. The time has run out. People are living worse than rats. It's said that the rats in Alex are the only rats that run towards people. And that's a very sad indictment, because those are the conditions. It is so poor, so overcrowded, there's darkness, there's not proper sanitation, and people live in squalor. It's enough. Government needs to be accountable, and they need to do something. We will, in the DA, name and shame. We will continue bring this up within committee. We will continually use the media and forums like yourself to indicate and show the world, the whole of South Africa and the world, that people are living in conditions that humans should never be allowed to live in.
So you've called out Minister Sisulu, you've called out MEC Maile, and you're saying they're doing absolutely nothing. I know that it's government's responsibility to get in there, but if the position is right now that the place is in crisis, Alex is in crisis, more and more people during COVID-19 will get sick, will suffer, are there other options right now? And I know it's like giving government a free pass, but should we be asking people like Gift of the Givers and others to come in and try and help in the short term with solutions? And are you doing something like that?
Yes, we should be getting the private sector involved. We should be getting Gift to the Givers, but it's a huge problem. You need government involvement. You need a finance from government. The first thing that we would do, we would immediately take steps to relieve the pressure of people living in these conditions under the torrid pandemic that we live in. Take people from the way where they are not able to socially distance. And with this third wave, I say fortunately, Alex hasn't been hit as hard as I would have expected. But with this third wave on the up, who knows what's going to happen? So urgent steps need to be taken to find temporary relocation areas for those people that are living in these crowded conditions. Secondly, steps need to be taken to ensure that there's a short and long-term strategy to produce proper and efficient housing that people feel that they've got their dignity back and are able to live like normal human beings.
Mervyn, I want to call you out on one or two other things. Who was responsible for an expensive waste of money with the bicycle lanes that were supposed to bring people from Alex up to Sandton? That magnificent bridge that must have cost hundreds of millions that was supposed to allow pedestrian traffic so that people could come into the city centre and look for jobs, instead of investing all of that money to make the difference right there in Alex that is so desperately needed. Who was responsible for that?
Well, that was a decision that was taken by the City of Johannesburg. I think it was the previous administration, not the DA one, the previous ANC administration. I'm not quite sure what happened, because the project on paper looked like a very good one. But like many, many projects that the ANC started, monies have been wasted because there hasn't been proper accountability, proper reporting, and proper follow-up. So that's something I haven't looked at for a while, but I will certainly be doing that because you raised a very good question.
Thank you very much for your time. Mervyn Cirota is a DA member of the Provincial Parliament.